hard. I hate the way that song fades out.
Episode 134. Gas prices have real estate agents going crazy. We're going to get started right now. All right, episode 134. Today we're going to be talking about the rising gas prices. This is a hot topic. And
Hot Topic. Where'd that store? Right. Is it still around? They go bankrupt.
I think they're still there.
Are they still?
Yeah.
Are they?
I'm pretty sure I saw one already.
That's where you get those Jinkos,
I don't
right?
think there's enough bands to keep Hot Topic going now.
That's
Are there?
true.
Because you just buy Slipknot t-shirts there and stuff, but
You
what
can
do
still buy those.
you're buying Machine Gun Kelly t-shirts,
That's right.
aren't you?
Well, no, I mean people are getting
guy sucks.
getting
I don't
all
like that
the
about
old school.
society.
They're getting like old
Yeah.
Aerosmith shirts and
How pissed
shit like
off.
that. Metallica.
Steven Tyler's rolling over in his grave knowing that.
Pretty sure he's still alive.
You know what? You know what Hot Topic is, though? That's Hot Topic's your father's store. You know that? You know it's not your father's store?
Look at this
Look.
guy.
Right out of the gate. I
That's
love
right.
it.
Which is not your father's store, which is we have a brand new
We are
sponsor to
excited
the show.
announce.
Right? It is the Armadillo Home Warranty Company, right? And so, look, we're joking around about this. Home warranty is, I've always said in the beginning, like when I used it, I thought it was a joke.
Sure.
I'm going to say I use the crap out of mine now.
Yeah. 100%,
I
man.
love mine. In fact, as an investor, where I teach people as landlords, I said put that on there and then go send your properties over to Homeward DFW, the best property management company in
Mhm.
Dallas Fort Worth.
Word.
But get your home warranties from Armadillo. You can just go to armadillo.1/tour, TORE. Right. So the cool thing about the Armadillo Home Warranty Company is that they don't have the long, convoluted contracts and the endless fine print. And sometimes the contractors they send are unreliable. So look, this is not a
No,
this is not a
that's
bull.
Not Armadillo. No, yeah. That's so great.
Yes.
Sometimes use this really sweet new company, and
Yes.
sometimes just lay a giant turd in
I'm
your lap.
glad you-
That's so on brand for this fucking show.
I'm glad you caught
That's
that
so
one.
great.
Yes.
Because it's funny that you said that because I was getting ready to tell like my biggest home warranty.
Yeah.
I did have this horseshit home warranty company though one time that they would not replace these people's air conditioning compressor outside or their air conditioning unit outside. I was like, well, just let me come by and call them back out. I literally went over and sprayed off the unit with a garden hose.
And it worked.
Yes, and they called and it was covered. I was like, you guys are such
So
dicks.
the other companies will send unreliable contractors.
I've dealt with
Yeah, that
Yes.
one that I was talking about.
And here's what I
Not
like.
the
And you
Dillo.
can't use your own contractors,
Dillo.
which with Armadillo you can.
That's a big thing for home warranty too. for
Yes,
real.
huge. Where I like to use my own contractors on it. So go over to armadillo.1/tour, TORE, and tell them that the good folks over here sent you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and talk to the Ron.
The Rock.
The
The Ron's a good dude over there.
Just
So-
say that. Somebody will figure it out.
Yes. And of course, you already heard it. Homeward DFW, the best property management company in DFW.
The
Just
only.
go to homewarddfw.com, check it out, send your investors that way, and if you're a landlord, use us.
Why
Just
did-
do it.
Jesse just made a great point. Why didn't we just call it the only property management company worth
Working
investing
with.
with? Working with, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Drop the ball there.
we're not as original, I guess. That we
I
thought
don't
we
know
were.
if property managers get our bit of just naming everything the same thing. that we
It's funny because I
started.
think our best names have gone so unused. We tried to start a staging company one time and we were going to call it Center Staging, which I still think is just phenomenal.
Yeah, but do you put everything in the center of the room?
That would be even better. It's like a bit
That
that
would
we
be-
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
who came up with this new way to sell houses faster? Turns
Yeah.
out buyers want all the shit in the dead center of the
Already
room,
packed up.
like a bullseye.
So, as we've evolved this podcast to topics and, the top five,
Amazing content. It is
the
today.
top 5 strategies of how to go do whatever, right? And what we've evolved this to, and we're hearing some amazing feedback of this, It sounds like a very Trump thing of me to say.
Yeah.
We've heard some amazing
Probably the
People
best
are saying
feedback.
they
and he
like the
doesn't he
show.
do it like this? Like, how does he do it? Like,
Does it-
I've never been good at picking up the mannerisms. Of
yeah,
people.
I don't know. But
I'm one of those people who like I would tell you this right now. If there's ever a large scale crime committed around you and cops need like people to give like an actual description, you do not want me in your corner at all. Like when people are like, "What color hair they have?" I was like, "I don't know. They fucking had hair, dude. Like it was."
happening.
Or
So
maybe
had
they
s-
didn't.
They had
did.
some.
Who
It
knows?
was more than none and less than a lot. It was a color.
was he tall? I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Compared to what?
Yeah.
Trump,
But-
Trump didn't do any hand stuff.
Yes, he does. He does something like
Obama's got good. Trump
No,
is-
he does it with his hands like this, but his hands
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Remember, because they made fun of the size of his hands.
Yeah,
he
small
does have
hands.
Yes.
Trump
So-
has the over the top confidence, but Obama did the good hand stuff where it's like.
But some of the other ones I see where they go like this. They got the closed fist with a
That's-
thumb kind of pointing at you.
what he would do.
That's like a power move, I
That would
think.
be-
Yeah.
100%.
So, as we've evolved this into some more stronger content, we're going with
Sure.
the trends that are happening right now. So, if you heard of 2 weeks ago, we talked about how the Ukrainian conflict, or now the war, can and will in fact affect our pricing, inflation.
I
Can
think
it affect?
infect was good.
Yeah, in fact.
In fact.
Yeah, let's hope they don't infect it. But something that's coming up now, and I was meeting with some agents yesterday. They're talking about gas prices and taking
Yeah.
their clients out, and we've seen some in some other groups, like the Only Real Estate Group we're being a part of, where they're talking about, what was it, Matt? Where should they charge or?
Yeah, it was more around like I have some pretty strong feelings about this, but like it was more around should they charge, almost like a surcharge, dude. The lady, and I don't want to sound bougie, but the lady who cleans my house I got charged $10 extra this last week because
drive
of
over there.
increased supplies and
Yeah.
drive time. Right? It's reasonable.
She
And-
has a Tesla.
Yes, exactly. I know she's packing cash.
Your house cleaner has a
No,
Tesla.
but yeah, I saw a post where some agents were talking about potentially like is it possible to charge buyers for the increased expense of showing them around? And after my brain got done exploding, I was like, look, I understand why people want to ask that. I also think it's a very slippery slope to get in a client experience based business, especially one where everybody is feeling the tightness of gas, whether you have money or not. It sucks paying $4 for a gallon of gas. I see this in these groups where people try and like big D each other about like how little they care about paying for gas. Look, paying $4 a gallon for gas sucks. And we're paying that here in Dallas. So I'm not even talking about the extremities and the coasts, right? So like, I also think the thought process, from a real estate agent perspective, that your gas prices or anybody else's problem is kind of
So there was actually an Inman article today, Brian,
about this.
as gas prices soar, real estate agents reconsider cost of doing business.
I'm so annoyed with this. Even this article. Okay.
You're just annoyed with Brad Inman.
No, I'm annoyed with people's inability to just think was like, I don't know, with spatial reasoning or whatever. I really want to spend some time talking about like what economically is happening that is making gas prices so high and how that could affect the housing market.
I don't.
Yeah,
Do
that
you-
sounds awful. Where's the button?
We're
Where's the
already
button that says
doing it.
boring?
We're already doing it. We're already doing it. But
Boring.
let me just leave you with this thought on this stupid argument. You want to know the easiest way to shut down the idea that because gas is more expensive, you should charge more people for the house you're showing them? How about they don't offer $100,000 over asking price and give you an extra $3,000 on the commission, you dumbass? You're in the same market where if you offer full price, you're not even in the hunt. You're not even in the hunt.
Well, so
And you're saying it's costing you more to drive people around. Why don't we go back to a balanced market where you just offer full price and you're getting the house? And what do you like? It goes up the same way. It goes up the same way.
It's scarcity mindset is what it really is. And I think the real, like, the beautiful lesson in this for entrepreneurs in general, but real estate agents, especially, like, look, dude, this market, I said this to somebody today, another agent that I'm helping out in South Dakota. She was asking about like how the market is. I told her what it was. And then we kind of like became friends. And I was like, I hate it. I have been doing this for
Dude,
10
it's
years
brutal.
and I hate this market more than any market I've experienced, solely because it's so difficult to read. And any agent who jumps on here, jumps on some like comment thread and says they've got this figured out, I guarantee you don't. And I think what we need to remember is the average real estate agent sells 10 houses a year. That is a statistical fact about our industry.
Yeah.
Also, the average home price and the average commission set is not such that if you only sell 10 houses a year, you are making so much money that you just no longer care about gas prices.
Right.
So I am sympathetic to this situation.
Yes.
Also, as real estate agents, we have to understand that the client is also feeling that same thing. You're asking a client who's having to overpay in an insanely, I would say overpay. You're asking a client to enter into an insanely aggressive market where you're going to ask them to do things that they would probably not have to do in a somewhat balanced market, who are also feeling the pinch of those gas prices and somehow think that you're going to work that in there. And that may have been just a one-off question, but I think the larger thing around this that real estate agents need to be careful of is on the purchase side, in a market like this, you very, very much run the risk of almost taking value away from yourself by trying to add more money to your pocket. Meaning, if you still think that your ability to enter a home and see a home's information is your value proposition, I just need to tell you that you are either a dinosaur or you are confused in this industry. As a buyer's agent, it is not difficult, or as a buyer, it is not difficult to get information. We've got 26,000 of them in our database that have clicked on Facebook leads. We will give them information for free. Your value is not those things.
The problem that I have, like you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
Now, when they start reading articles like this, and
I know,
and the average agent thinks just like everyone else does.
Those articles are bullshit.
So
though,
in this, the dramatic price hike prompted real estate agents from California to New York City, where the gas prices hit an all-time high of $4.51 a gallon, to reconsider everything from what homes to show and how often. So let's break this down.
If it took gas prices to make you reconsider that, when you should actually just ask better qualifying questions and stuff in the first place, you were already on the wrong track.
Yes, that makes more sense. But tell me this, Kelderman, if you're out there showing, or if you have a client right now and they're like, "Hey, Matt, can I go see this home today?" You're like, "Look, I can't because I've already hit my allotted gas allowance today. So maybe tomorrow, and hopefully we don't lose it."
Exactly. And okay, so here's the thing is, and this is where I wanted to take this because I think it addresses what both of you just said. There is a way to do this from a business efficiency standpoint that actually makes you a better freaking professional.
Yeah,
right.
Pick you up.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Tell them you need to ride shoddy. Here's the deal, right? Like, if you, as a buyer's agent, if you really want to solve this problem, or not even as a buyer's agent, as an agent who works with buyers, if you really want to solve this problem, dial in your shit. Understand your market and the buyers who have a realistic chance of getting under contract. I'm not going to talk about price points or loan products because I'm just not going to do that. But at the end of the day, each market has specific conditions that we, as a seasoned or as a intelligent agent who's up on market conditions, should be able to understand. That you know what types of buyers. If I have a buyer who has in a very strong price point, that has no ability to offer an appraisal gap right now, I'm going to advise them, hey, here's something really awesome. Why don't I go ahead and set you up on this this home list that you're going to get? I'm also going to set you up to receive those exact homes that have open houses this weekend. I'm gonna give you a card. I'm gonna give you instructions. As an agent, you should know how to give instructions for people to go to open house. They then go to the open house, right? They get a chance to see this house, a house that they can't compete in on the first weekend. And you tell them, hey guys, in this market, people are offering in DFW, in some cases, 10, 15% over asking price, right? And guaranteeing that money. You don't have the financial ability to do that. So let's do this. Why don't you go take a look at these homes this weekend? If it rolls through Tuesday, not Monday, you dummies, because a lot of agents are still negotiating multiple on Mondays.
That's true.
But on Tuesday or Wednesday, if this house is still active, let's schedule an appointment to go look at it on a day 10 or 11, because we are now through the cutthroat aspect of multiple offers, right? You send your buyers out with instructions and confidence, and you provide them with the information to go to these open houses and see these same houses. Right? You prepare them, because I know what agents are going to jump in here and say and be like, I'm not going to send my clients to an open house because the listing agent will steal it, or that's not good client service. No, man. It is good client service, because if you're running around all weekend with your buyers who don't have a realistic shot on that first weekend bid,
it just goes back to what you're just saying about if you think that your value is actually showing your buyers.
Yeah, you're just a freaking door opener.
You're a professional door opener.
Why not in a better way advise your clients about the reality of their situation in this market so they can make a more educated decision. Act on that before prices go up another 2.5% over the next 3 months and they lose even more freaking equity. And then whatever happens with the Ukraine, eventually interest rates go back up, right? Like, you're actually not being a great fiduciary to your clients by just jumping in a car and driving around with them. Now you've eliminated the problem of your gas issue. You made yourself look like a more consummate professional. You put your clients in a dialed in situation where they understand the market realities and are prepared to make offers that are realistic, right? Now you have a better chance of staying in the business. Like all of this stuff trickles way up, and agents just look at it. The agent who's looking at it is, I need a surcharge for my gas, is probably also looking at their bank account lightly every month too.
So
I'm sorry.
This is a good one.
Already
Why-
got this up.
That's the most I've ever
Jesse,
talked
pull
on
up
this show.
trends real fast. While Nick is talking, because I want to come back to this. Just pull up trends because you already got the dashboard there on the Netris trends. Just get Netris trends
Yeah.
going.
So in this Inman article, a survey of members of the National Association of Realtors found that agents drove a collective 3.6 billion miles in 2011, or an average of about 3,300 miles annually for business related 2021. Sorry, business related driving.
3,300.
Yes, that's
Nothing.
yes. Right, that's next to nothing. Now they're saying that would expect you to spend about $378 is what they're saying at that average amount. Now at current prices, they're spending $553 extra annually.
$553 extra dollars.
Yes, it's not that much.
I'll show you. It's not that much. Go back to trends real fast.
No. But we can't do that. We can't do that. And this is where I will come back for the people. Because it's not just what you're spending on your own gas. It's the cost of goods and services across the board. We can't look at it as $536 more a month. There are some people that $500 a month is literally detrimental to them being able to pay their rent, right?
Yes.
Like and those people are real estate agents too.
Yes.
And the cost of their milk has went up. The cost of every single product they buy has went up. It's not just $536.
I agree that. I 100% agree with that. And this is the point I'm going to try and make. So go to trends real fast. And go to average. No, you already have it up. So go to the list of sales price real fast. Percentage of original price. Right there. Thank you. That can't be right. Or a price. Oh, wait. Go back to what's the highest it was?
This is a riveting
Go average. Not
video
median.
right
Go to
now.
average.
Watching
Go to average.
Brian watch a screen.
No,
give directions.
look, go to average. Go to average.
We're just here for it. It's fine.
Okay, so we're over, and the prices have increased. I'm sorry. Do prices. Sales price. Top left corner. Thank you. 18.5% more than on a monthly basis. Okay, for a rolling 3 years. So I do understand what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm saying, how blessed are we at the same time that sheer market forces have given us an 18.5% raise this year?
They have, but there's also 1.6 million licensed realtors, right? So
100%.
the dilution effect,
No doubt it's oversaturated.
Yes. So the dilution effect means that you have
Thank you, sir.
commission compression. You've got you've got more agents selling. So the spread on that, right? And I believe that agents, if I remember
100%.
correctly from Family Reunion, that slide, I think agents are selling what? Did you go to that one?
I don't. You're not giving me enough
It's
information.
like I think it's 7 houses on
See that
that
slide?
slide.
It's fewer houses. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 houses. I'm laying out on you on this one. But they're selling less and less houses. Right.
Yes.
So yes, they have an 18%. They've given themselves, we've gotten a raise.
Right.
But they're also with commission compression, with there's more agents in competition. I go back. I'm in the middle on this where I agree with you, Kelderman, where the average real estate agent is struggling to figure out how to pay their car note or how to just put just to have their day-to-day living activities done. But they also got into 100% commission industry.
I love that. I think maybe this is where
It's their problem to figure out for sure.
that's what. Okay, so this is where I bring both these ideas together, and I don't mean to sound non-empathetic at all. Guys, we were the broke agent. You were a fucking pizza delivery man, and we were both bartenders full time when we were selling real estate part time and trying to. We've been there. I get that. What I'm trying to say is, when you look at inputs and outputs, meaning the input is I show you houses, and the output is hopefully you buy one. If gas prices increase, and that's my cost of doing business, how blessed are we that home prices have also organically gone up because of the same market forces? If your mindset is, I might need to do a surcharge because of gas prices, and I'm a struggling agent right now, the answer is not to charge your clients for the cost of doing your business. The answer, and this might sting a little bit, and I do have empathy, the answer is, what else could you be doing to offset the cost of gas? Like, what else can you be doing to make money right now?
Delivering
we are in a
pizzas.
very tight market, and there's no shame in that, man.
No.
Like Matt's always said this. Matt and I have always said we fly by the seat of our pants, and we're sure that this thing is going to come falling apart every day, and we will go back to bartending doing this part time. Like we like,
I'll Tom Brady that.
hopefully, you never will have to. But I'm just saying, like, I just know myself and the people around me, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, whatever you have to do to get by is what you have to do to get by, and there will be a market effect here where things tend to balance out, because in very tight markets where commissions compress and inventory is low, there is a lot of realtors in the business right now that, quite frankly, and this is not to be mean, would be better off doing something else.
Or maybe,
or at least supplementing,
or maybe they
something
get
else.
absorbed into, maybe they don't stay 100%, but they get absorbed into a real estate related
Maybe they
salary
know-
position.
We have that on our team. Our most valuable people, and she's sitting right over there. So I hate that she can hear me
might be
saying
watching.
this, because this is gonna inflate her ego like crazy. Was an agent on our team, and now she is integral to this business. We couldn't do any of this without her, and she's in a much better seat on the bus.
right.
And
So
there's a necessity for those people.
actually, let me toss something out. There's two things. We have commission compression. What if you work those same clients, but you also work in it used to be transaction fee.
Yeah.
So you add a $250 surcharge, whatever you want to call it. There's a fuel surcharge at the end of it that's tacked on, because look, $250 added onto a contract when they're going 10, 20, 30,000 over,
It's pennies.
right?
It also stings.
Yes and no. I mean, look, just like you said, your cleaning lady has added $10 more. Their delivery service apps,
Yeah.
Uber has now added more, increased their cost of fuel charge back to the customer that's going 100% to the Uber driver.
So let me talk about the human element of that, because here's what I didn't share about the cleaner. The cleaner was already not doing a great job.
Uh-oh.
And I was, and this is dead serious, and I'm going to relate this back
I
to
hope
real
she's
estate
not
too.
watching.
Already not doing a good job, and not something I really wanted to go forward with. And that $10 legitimately solidified the end of that relationship.
But-
so I say to you, hang on a second, because I think there are a lot. I paid her that $10. I still Venmoed her that $10. Didn't give any pushback when it probably would have made more sense.
I paid mine.
Mine was $95.
I paid it 9 minutes ago while you were talking about yours.
And here's the thing is, right? Why we're talking about that, it's real estate agents have to understand the same thing. If you can't somehow show that value, people may go ahead and pay it at the time. But it's like going to a restaurant and having a beautiful experience, and then you fuck up dessert or the closing, and people never come back again.
100%.
They don't say shit to your face.
Such a
You
good
just
point.
never hear from them again.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But would you, with that, if I would refer you my cleaner, if we're gonna keep with a cleaning person, and I said, Matt, my cleaner's awesome, and you're like, hey, I've been over your house. It's really
This
clean.
place is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yours is really clean.
So-
man.
It's too small
And I'm
for all
like-
those humans you have. in
I'm
there
like,
now.
hey,
a lot of
no,
humans.
let's not talk about that. I'm like, look,
got your back,
she
Heather.
does a great job, but she just added a fuel surcharge. Cost inflation, everything else.
different.
Okay.
You do a great job. I value your service.
Yeah.
No, you don't know that.
Oh.
It's me referring that to
Okay,
you, right?
cool. I take.
So,
I take that referral because I trust you. I trust
yes,
you.
knows
which
she does a
which
great job.
still again, I go back to that slide that was shared at Family Reunion. The clients are still finding their agents through referral sources.
Certainly.
Most agents, even ones probably listening to this, are getting their clients from a sphere or referral source.
Sure.
So you add a $250 charge, whatever that may be, earned at closing and funding.
Sure.
Do you think that hurts your business for future referrals?
I would never do it.
Okay.
I would never do it.
Lifetime value of a client, I think it's a 50-50 ball, man. I get why you're doing
I'm not.
it.
That's 50-50 ball is why I'm not willing to roll the dice.
Yeah, I get why you're doing it in the moment. I can't honestly say whether I would do it or not. I would tell you, I feel like it could go either way. And I probably wouldn't be willing to bet the possible referral business in the future on it.
So
Also, as a former broke agent who was one commission check away from getting out of the business multiple times, I will tell you, I will never. I have never, and I will say I have never represented a client based on anything that has to do with my bank account and my fiduciary
yeah.
responsibility.
I think-
And I don't think that's what this is about. But I do think if you're
No,
worried
I
about
think-
the
I think it's about the
$250,
bank
I think it's kind of about that. Actually, I agree with you.
And I don't like that as a fiduciary, and I think it can get real.
We're
gross
no,
real quick.
think about it. We're talking about how like possibly charging surcharges for gas because the gas is so expensive And when you think about every new agent getting into the business, like we were new agents getting into the business one time and could barely afford gas on our own, like you're talking about national economics. What about your personal economics? I never charged anybody I didn't even think about this. I ran out of gas on my first showing ever. And my jerk of an ex-girlfriend at the time,
You should have, when you got the showing, you should have told that dude to give you $10.
wouldn't bail me out. Yeah. So I'm saying is that I guess, wow, I've actually been in this situation before. I didn't charge people a gas surcharge because I was broke because I was brand new. So why would I charge you for gas when the economy?
So what happened?
My economy was terrible back then.
All right, what happens? Let's kick it around it some more on this because I'm not for or against it.
No,
Right?
no, I think that's just an awesome conversation.
I think
Jesse, how
charge-
much do you pay your cleaner?
Oh.
too long. Keep going.
So I would say what happens, you take that same client on, you're not charging that fee. They go to a builder that's at 1%.
Yeah.
Right? You're already, look, business is tight. Do you go and pick up the rest of the commission? So you start looking at all this.
No, I see
when you
how
start
you're saying.
factoring all these in and you start
You want to
saying
hear something crazy? If the listing agent's offering a lower commission than what is typical for an area, I actually don't make my buyer paid. I just take whatever's offered.
Yeah.
For the exact same reason. It's the same reason. Brian and Megan, shout out, listed their house tomorrow. I've done more transactions with them than any clients. They were one of my first people, right? We're about to list another property for them. The very first time I sold the first house they bought, I forgot to exclude the leased alarm equipment. And the new owner moved in and said, sorry, bro, eat shit. 9/10 of the law is possession, and this stuff is in my house now. And it was going to cost my clients $1,500 to pay Vivint back for the lost equipment. Yet the new owner of the home only wanted $900 for the equipment back. So I had a $900 or a $1,500 decision to make because I was writing a check either way.
Yeah.
And I wrote a $900 check and went and got a little bullshit ass shoebox of some stuff and went and gave it to my clients. So they weren't out $1,500.
Can we sidebar this real quick? Because we're running into issues with solar panels like no other.
Well,
What's going on with solar panels?
No. This is a perfect example
Other fact, they're a terrible
of
investment.
not figuring out the economic system behind a product before you release it in mass. Every situation is different with solar panels. There's like no one way universal.
And
like,
somehow
thing. Sometimes they're leased, sometimes they're owned. If they're leased, it's a nightmare
And
because like
somehow
all the leases are different.
Their loan contract is the most button-up contract I've ever
Yes.
seen.
Oh, dude, they're like timeshares.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, how is a product? Because I think here's the thing is, and anybody can chime in on this. I will admit that I'm a little bit ignorant on solar panels completely, and have never owned a home with them on it. I imagine the people who feel good about their solar panel purchase and experience after walking away from it is about the same percentage of people who are excited about owning their timeshare in Puerto Vallarta.
I'm gonna get excited about solar panels whenever I can plug into them in the mornings and get some vitamin B.
Vitamin B.
That's what you get from the sun, right?
No, it's D.
D.
It's
Oh,
definitely,
I was like-
definitely the D.
Here's the thing. I believe Brian so much on this. I'm like, wait, Matt, are we
Shit.
It's
because I'm not taking vitamin
it happens
B.
rarely. It happens rarely where Brian says something and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's D, yeah.
I'm like Pete Davidson on like Saturday Night Live. It's like, you know how wrong you have to be about politics for me to notice?
But I look at all this and thus the reason why I wanted to have, like, we brought this conversation up is because this starts leading down that gray hole of do you charge it, should you not? Commission compression and everything.
Yeah.
And my thought process was while talking to this agent, and Brian, you probably have some probably can kick around this from a 50,000 foot overview, is that as we go through commission compression, when things typically get cheaper, does the actual service, the cost to consumers actually get cheaper, or do they upfront say, hey, this is X, but then there is enough back-end fees that actually makes up the difference of what it was lost originally? So let's say the standard commission, let's say there was an average commission of 5%, right? Let's just hypothetically say 5 or 6%. And now we're starting to see the average commission is 3%.
Right.
But then they start tacking on like doc fees.
Right.
Mortgage company used to do this. Then they start talking in like a doc storage fee.
Yeah.
And then you start looking at them like, really, when you add it all up, you're still paying like 4.5%.
Yeah,
Is
5%.
this the same thing as paying for your bags on a plane? It's like,
Yes.
motherfucker, you know I'm bringing bags. Why do I pay extra
Spirit
for them?
Airlines cost the same after all
Yeah,
that
you do
fucking
all this
upcharges,
stuff.
But
dude.
it's-
Just
or-
in a crappier seat.
The way that I looked at it is like Open Door. Open Door will come in with or an iBuyer come in with a very high offer.
Yeah.
But then behind it, there's so many fees that when you actually look at it, they're buying it for less than what that client could have sold it through a traditional real estate agent for.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
12%.
Yeah, 12 to
Is that where
15.
they're at
12
right
to,
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 to 15%
It's
is some of
pretty
these
high, dude.
iBuyers on average.
It's pretty high.
Right?
Do you mean like because like I think what you're saying, and I think what like from a 50,000 foot view, this is just like the difference between like supply side and demand side economics. This would almost be like supply side and demand side like adjacent, meaning like it depends on what's driving compression commission. So like supply side economics would say that what's driving commission compression would be too many realtors in the business. Meaning like,
Yes.
if you don't do this for 2%, I'll just go to the next
I'll
guy.
go next to because
Right?
somebody will.
Yeah. Demand side would be, I don't really need you right now because inventory is so low and there's so much demand that once I put my house on the market, whoever sells it is going to make money no matter what. In that scenario, commission compression actually favors the person who could do a lot of volume. I don't mind that as much. I've actually been the person saying for 5 years that we're probably going to have lower commissions in the future and do higher volume. But that's because that's really because demand side economics require it. Things are getting faster. Things are more automated. Systems are better. It's the same reason that you don't pay your stockbroker the same thing that you used to in the 1980s. Supply side compression is totally different and it's temporary, meaning the more agents that get into the business, commissions will compress, but only until enough agents get out of the business that there's not too many to compete for every listing. I'm fine with demand side compression because that means the systems have gotten better, that we can sell 1,000 houses a year with the same effort that we used to sell 300 houses a year.
That's called profitability, folks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Walmart
Agents don't wanna
operates
talk about
off
their
less than a
profitability.
1% profit margin.
Yeah.
Because it's demand, dude. They just roll volume through.
Well, and there was Sam Walton in his book talks about you give the people what they want, which he gave them what they wanted, just at cheaper prices.
That's true.
That's what we do with this show every freaking week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love
So
bastards.
I don't know.
Where does this go is my question.
Well, nowhere because you're out of gas.
Isn't that weird though? Remember? Oh man, you guys all remember this. What was the scare 3-4 years ago? It was Harvey, Hurricane Harvey in
Oh,
Texas.
yeah.
Oh, dude, I went to Costco and
Where
filled
we
up
all
like every
decided
other
we were running
knucklehead.
out of gas. Then because
Yeah.
we all decided we were running out of gas, we all got
We
gas.
actually
We ran
ran
out of
out of
gas.
This is the like that's the amazing like in the butterfly effects. I don't know what sort of weird word or phrase has probably been come up with to explain that type of stuff, but it's like just the reactions of humans around stuff actually cause the thing that they're worried about happening to happen.
Well, it was the
Yes.
it was the toilet paper at the beginning of the
It was the
pandemic.
toilet
Yeah,
paper.
it's
Fucking
like
toilet paper.
so stupid.
It's invented hysteria.
That's exactly what it is.
What's the question, Jesse? You want to do the trolley question?
Dude, we are
That'll
super
take us way
early.
too long.
Yeah.
We're way too. What? Oh my gosh! I'm sorry that you
No,
pulled
we
that
were
out.
just
we're
running
early.
on that. We
But
can-
What else are we talking
But
about?
while you're looking for that, Jesse, I mean,
Yes.
let's give another little quick shout out to the Ron.
The
That's what we're gonna
Everybody's
Ron.
filled it-
The
everybody's
Ron.
figured out that
I
we're
actually
talking
really like
about him
that.
at
He
this
will.
point.
He will. The Ron and Armadillo, right? So it's the newest sponsor of the show. Just really quick, if you're in Dallas and you're an agent and you're listening to this show, go check him out. He's the home warranty expert. So go to armadillo.1/tour TORE. I'm not going to spell armadillo for you. You can look that up.
It's one of those like
Couldn't
7-letter
touch that.
words or 8-letter words.
Yeah.
It sounds exactly like
Yeah.
it's spelled.
Armadillo's home warranty has 80% less exclusions and fine print. They're tech enabled, and they use reputable, qualified contractors, or you can use your own, and Armadillo will get them paid quickly. They're open in all 50 states. So actually, they don't even have to be. Dude, I just learned that they're in all 50 states.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so use Armadillo in all 50 states.
Wait, Joey Tribbiani told me there were 53 states.
Ruh-roh.
Armadillo.1/tour. And I will tell you real
Pete
quick.
Chicago.
Not that I'm gonna keep harping this on, but on a home warranty that you can actually use your own contractor and they then just pay them. I freaking love that because I know
Yeah,
the
that
work's
is
getting done
huge.
correctly, and I can yell at my contractors if it's not done, and I know they're going to come back.
That's huge.
In a timely manner.
In this day and age where a lot of companies are going towards more tech-enabled stuff, like I think we hear those types of buzzwords a lot, and while that's awesome, I also think one of the best things about this is that the real practical thing for real estate agents, because like, look, guys, we're not idiots. Like, we're trying to get you to buy some stuff, and it's not stuff that sucks.
No.
We're trying to vet some of this stuff where it's really practical, and that is the thing for me. It's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah,
being able to use your own contractors is so hugely beneficial in every single way when approaching the home warranty. Because I don't like.
Well, and the fine print, I will tell you.
The fine print part's huge.
The
for
first,
sure.
They
just don't cover shit.
I used to not even recommend them to my clients the same way I didn't recommend property management companies because on my first house I bought in Richardson, right? It was a pier and beam house. And the pier and beam house, there was a little bit of some plumbing issues. So I call out that home warranty company that I got because the sales rep told me how great they were. And what I come to find out is that my plumbing was not covered because there was no direct clean out valves on the ground. You had to go under the house, or I had to pay a $500 surcharge. So speaking of surcharges, a $500 ladder surcharge for him to go on top of the roof to clean it out. So I said, you know what?
You paid him $500 to climb a ladder?
I did not pay him. I said, you know what? I'll get my ass underneath the house. I opened up the clean out valve and cleaned it out myself. Was not fun, by the way.
I can't imagine, but it was worth $500.
So being able to use your own contractors that you trust is huge. Being able to use a reputable contractors is really huge.
Sure.
So again, just check it out. Armadillo.1/Tor TORE.
Okay, what do you guys have advice-wise? First of all, you put Ohio twice. For now that we're talking about gas, he's going to get that in a second. Okay, we've talked about gas surcharges. It was ridiculous. What we're not talking about at all, that we have talked about, we spent a whole segment of our team meeting on this yesterday. What are you guys doing and advising, and what are you seeing right now around? This is a totally different mindset with which you have to approach your buyer conversations and your buyer experience these days. What are your tips, advice, whatever? How do we kick this around where, I mean, dude, it used to just be show buyers houses, write contracts, make money, right? I think that's even a Wu-Tang song about that. Yeah, right?
It is.
Like,
Wu-Tang was big in the real estate market.
Yeah, right?
Early
Like,
on.
how are we approaching buyers differently now and getting, like, not just getting them under contract, because that's very difficult to do, right? But, like, what are our best advice? What are our best conversations to have? How are you approaching? You meet buyer X today, and they say, we really want this, and you know, that's a tall order. What's the conversation look like?
I mean, I'm transparent with them. I mean, that's
Yes.
that's the coaching. So look, agents are beat up, they're frustrated, they're tired, but so are buyers.
Yes.
Right. And the reason why these buyers are, a lot of these buyers that are out there that are frustrated or talking shit, on Reddit, I was on a Reddit first time home buyer forum today that I'm pulling a Kelderman and just, keyboard warring
And
it
they're
on
just
there.
firing off.
Yes,
high.
because they're talking about these
I'll
first time
get
home buyers are like, I'm sitting out and waiting and I'm not buying. I'm waiting for the next crash. I'm like, there's not going to be another crash when it comes to the real estate market in terms of huge 2008 price returns.
Not right now, no.
Right. And so I said, and they're talking about how prices are going up now. 4.5% interest rates are outrageous high. And that's a problem because they're really not historically, but we've had it for so long that that's become the norm.
I talked about, you guys want to hear a tiny short thing? I've talked about this twice. The damn truck thing. I almost rear-ended somebody the other day because I'm driving a rental car and my old truck used to vibrate and tell me to start slowing down if I got too close.
Yes.
This is exactly what we're experiencing with interest rates.
Oh my gosh.
People have been driving the damn cars with the vibrating seats for too long that tell them like 3.5%,
Yes.
4% is fine. And they hit 4.5%. And they're like, I'm never going to make money in this entire world now. This interest rate's terrible.
But what
Just
I'm
rear-ending everybody.
so prices are going up, interest rates are going up. And I said, guys, there's one guy that said, oh, I remember 2008 or 2006 when inventory was scarce and demand was high. What happened? I remember that. And I said, I also remember when you could have no job, no income and get approved for a $500,000 loan. Like that. Yeah. None of this makes sense. By the way, with prices and interest rates going up, what do you think happens to your rent? Your rent goes up. Rent has
16% nationwide last year.
Yes. So rent is continuing going up. By the way, if you have a unrealistic buyer or a buyer that I'm going to say is on life support, right? You have someone that's on life support, less than 5% chance of getting off life support. Are you going to donate your healthy kidney to that person if they have less than 5% getting off life support? No, you're not.
Oh, no, I'm not.
You're not,
Let's be
100%.
honest. I know it makes
So,
you sound bad. Not if it's just Joe Stranger.
You wouldn't even do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it for you, and you wouldn't do it for me if there's less than 5% chance
I
of
have
getting
two
off life
kidneys. You
support.
got to pick something. I can't get another one off.
What about one? Liver?
I understand
Liver.
the point. I'm
half
just
a liver,
it's
a
gotta
lung.
be- I hear they can just take chunks of your liver and then like grow it.
I think it grows back.
Yeah, it's stem
But
cells.
the conversation revolves around you need to have a true in your mind and not just hope and pray that this is a commission check for you. You got to pull out. You got to eject. Don't waste your time driving them around.
Look, dude,
it?
no, Brian hates
It's
this.
so
And
ridiculous.
look, I know.
Jesse did it.
I actually, this is one of those things that people don't really want to talk about because everybody wants to help everybody. And while I like this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier about prepping your buyers for the right, helping your buyers understand their position in the market, but also prepping them for the market they're moving into. And then also prepping them for what your involvement's going to be.
Yeah.
Guys, again, if you think your value proposition is just availability, you're wrong. Your value proposition is being able to put people in the best position to win. That does not involve you potentially showing them 75 houses and writing a dozen offers. There is a way to do it where they feel the same care and get the exact same experience. And this goes back to your initial question, is that they can have the exact same experience and you can be better for your clients. Think of how this is how I kick agents' asses all the time.
Up and down the block.
Is because I see more deals than they do.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could represent people with the same level of intensity, because guess what? You doing everything isn't great. You're not good at everything, right? So imagine if you had more time to become more of a student of your craft. Imagine you had more time to procure more clients, to get more closings, to see more deals unfold, to potentially deal with more problems that then you get to closing. Imagine you had more time to talk to buyers and sellers about what they're seeing in the market and what's not working for them and isn't working for them. Instead, you're being a dipshit driving around a buyer who has no chance of getting under contract specifically on first weekend homes. Again, I'm not talking about abandoning the buyer. I'm talking about putting them in the proper freaking bin and making sure that they get what's needed for them, right? Imagine if you could do all of that, how much better you would be for your clients over time. And this is the short-sightedness of people, is they just don't realize that getting 2-3% better day after day puts you fucking light years ahead of everybody else over a decade.
It does. And to put this in context, and I appreciate you saying that because I thank you, because this is exactly where I'm trying to go with this is these are just in-game adjustments. What we could have had this conversation in like 2017, really hot sellers market as well, right? And we used to have to talk about the first conversation we'd have with our buyers, like kind of like pre-qualifying your buyers, really having the tough conversation. And the tough conversation back then was, hey, you're not going to get a deal. If it's asking price, you got to offer asking price.
Well, the deal was your interest rate.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a hot market, but interest rates are low, which is funny because back then low was like 4.5%. Like interest rates are low. That's your win, but you're not going to be able to negotiate on sales price, right? And now today we're talking about, well, how do we even work with buyers when they don't? Well, the problem that is with that conversation is if you're losing out because 50 other offers came in and they're all $30,000 to $70,000 over asking price, my assertion to you is, well, 50 other buyers had a conversation with somebody and were willing to offer that much over. So it's just an in-game adjustment. What I'm trying to say is, how do you approach your buyers in this market? The same way you did when the tough conversation was you got to offer full price. You're not going to get a 10% discount, right? We used to think that was very difficult to do. We used to think, how do I tell my buyers they're not going to be able to negotiate? Do you remember when we used to tell your buyers, you can't negotiate at all? We thought that was hard. Now the hard conversation is, you're going to have to offer $50,000 over asking price to get a home in this market. Let's talk through that. I'm starting with empathy and working backwards. I know that sucks. The caveat is sales prices, if we're talking nationally, but let's talk locally for a second, are continuing to traject upward. Interest rates are still low. The Fed hasn't hiked rates yet. Find the wins, right? It's the same conversation with different inputs and outputs. But how quickly we forget that the tough conversation used to be, you might not get this house if you offer below asking.
Yeah.
It's the same conversation, dude.
No, it's easy. It's just, do they have the money?
Yeah.
Right? Do they have the money? And are they going to use I mean,
we can bring this all
are
the
they
way
going to make a
full-
decision quickly? It's it. And,
we bring this all the way full circle back to like gas surcharges and stuff. I would challenge the people that are really feeling that right now. What conversations are you comfortable having with your buyers? And that's a really great opportunity to improve those conversations, or just like work on, are those buyers worth having in the car right now?
Do you know what would solve all this? If the Oculus could just go into the meta world.
That's a whole different podcast.
And then we could just go
talk about
straight into their house and walk around with that headset on. Then you don't have to worry about gas.
Man. You need to make the show longer. I agree. Jesse, hit us with one. What do we got? Did the kids pick one?
It's funny. Yeah. So
Matt
it's just
saw
funny.
one.
Like I saw a couple, but it was so hilarious because the very first one, the one that you said, "What if you had 24 hours to live?" There's actually a Mace song from his CD Harlem World, and Mace is one of the most trash rappers who's ever existed. And this song is such a trash song. Your opinion on hip hop is terrible. Then,
what you know about going out?
yeah. And then the whole song is like that. But I saw that one, and I was like, at first I was like, "Oh, that'd be a fun one to do." And then I remembered all the lyrics to that song. I was like, "No, that shit's fucked up. We can't do that one."
You know what's funny about all these questions, and he's about to pick one, but there's so many of these that have to do with silly things like, what if money didn't matter? Money doesn't matter.
It already doesn't matter.
Right?
I found the perfect one. It's a little below center, and it says, "What would you do if your cell phone fell in the toilet?"
I was going with that one too.
And here's why I think that, because look, my initial reaction is like, first off, I am definitely going to grab it out. I think you like. We're not talking about toilet contents here. We're talking about clean toilet, flush, clean water.
No,
Whatever.
that's
right?
actually what's the context.
Yeah.
That look, anything in there,
Porta potty.
it's donezo.
Porta potty
Gone.
toilet.
Yeah,
Gone.
well,
Gone,
your cell
bro.
phone's going to break immediately, wouldn't
Gone.
it?
It's just
That actually might not be true, because I survived
No.
a fall with my cell phone in my pocket into a lake.
Yes.
guys, your
and Nick
iPhone
saved my life.
will survive under a certain amount of feet of water. Like the thing that your phone's going to die because it falls in water. That's not true anymore.
I am
right?
living proof of this, and I've never told this story on the podcast. We were at
I
Nick's
showed up the
lake
day
house
after this happened.
last summer, and this was a benevolent action on my part. So just start with that.
I was just trying to
I
help.
was trying to help out. We were going to bed, and I walked down to the end of the dock to try and turn on. First of all, I don't know why the light switches are down there. This is just asking for trouble. All the light switches for all the
Come on,
dock
Nick.
lights are all the way down at the end. So I turned them off. I'm not like a lake person, meaning I don't go to lakes a lot. Not like I'm not a swamp monster, but like I'm not a lake goer a lot. And so I saw, after I flipped, I thought all the switches off. I thought I flipped them all off, and I saw another light was on, like at the end of the dock. Turns out it's like the dock. It's the light.
It's
that's
the one that
always
keeps
on,
people from driving
Yeah.
into the dock.
which I didn't.
By
Think
the way,
It's
was
like
that
all the
big.
people on skyscrapers, and I go turn the lights off so the planes can freaking.
By the way, that
Exactly.
light's burned out right now.
Yeah, it makes sense now. In the moment,
Nick's
I was
lake
like,
house
"There's
is
one
done.
more light that hasn't been turned off. Let me go around to the other side of the dock and try to see if there's another switch." So I'm walking. Thank God Nick's boat is in the shop. It is not in the boat slip, or I would have smashed my face into it. As I take a step around what I thought was the other side of the dock, in the pitch black dark, because my eyes are like messed up because I just turned the lights off. All of a sudden, I'm underwater. I have no idea what just happened.
And the thing is, I
Like-
can't visualize this, but I can imagine the experience of just like stepping out onto something that isn't
Dude.
there, and you go from being in the air and then underwater all at once.
And you don't feel yourself falling because it's pitch black.
Mortgage
something-
Mike was there.
Mortgage Mike didn't react at
Yes.
all. This is how I knew Nick and I were friends for life. Is he heard me hit the water and come screaming down off the patio. Michael DeBacker is in his own world. He's just sort of curious about what happened. Doesn't even, not concerned,
It's pretty on brand.
doesn't care at all. Nick comes and pulls me out by the back of my shirt. I say all of this to say, after this traumatic experience, the best part was my cell phone was
Your
fine.
cell phone was fine.
It was
So
in my
what-
pocket. Nothing happened to it.
So what that also means is if my phone drops in the toilet, I'm grabbing it because I
I'm
saved
grabbing
your
it.
life.
Why would your phone fall in a clean toilet? Why are you standing next to clean toilets? It's only going to fall if you just went in it.
No, I get it, and like I'm wearing shorts today that don't provide a lot of extra space, so like I could see how like your phone could be half out, and then maybe you could go to stand up, like you're done, and then you got to stand
Especially
up
if
and you
keep it in
turn,
your back
and then maybe
pocket.
it falls out. But again,
Yeah.
we probably wouldn't have been flushed at that point.
That is
Yeah.
a different conversation,
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
because there's
There's
there's an
Flusholio-
existence
yeah.
in there.
Yeah, Flusholio, like if it's clean, at least the water's clean. I understand. I'm grabbing it.
You know, the next question was underneath that is like, what do you do if you're in a public restroom and there's no toilet paper and you've already gone?
Okay, so
First of all, why'd you put yourself in that position? There's a fucking whole checklist you should be going through in a public bathroom before you
use
do
your
anything.
underwear as the answer, though.
Yeah, or socks.
Yeah, socks are a good
I'm
one,
keeping my
too.
shirt and my pants on. Everything else.
What if it's
Is-
lake day?
is- I can
what if it's
sacrifice
lake
it.
day, so you're in swim trunks and you have flip flops on?
Oh, if it's lake day, I'm going in the water. If
I would use my
Oh, that's
shirt.
true.
I'm pretty comfortable.
it's lake
with
day,
my
I'm just going
body.
in the water. I'm going to swim backwards real fast.
I'll be honest.
Kelderman really loved that one.
Oh my god, man, I love me some me.
I'll be 1,000% honest with you. So, like,
Brian's throwing this.
I'm
Here's
so,
a- here's a
I'm
great
so
point right
selfishly
here.
comfortable with my body. I'd probably use my shirt. I'm not kidding. I just
If I didn't walk back in a public place, I'd probably be fine with that too. Like the shirts, like as a dude, you just need bottoms. That's all you need. You just need everything else. You
I
can
mean,
sacrifice.
legally, that's all you.
What if
do.
you're in a nice
I'd
restaurant?
probably even own it, dude. I'd
you
be
come out
like,
no shirt on.
If people were like, "Why don't you have a shirt on?" I'd be like, "There's no toilet
I mean, I'm
people."
definitely heading immediately towards the exit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like just like tossing my credit card to somebody and be like, I'll come pick this up tomorrow.
You're just you're at Bob's.
Sorry for the trash can and the men's.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think the phone is gone once it hits that water.
Nah,
It's just
I'm
'cause-
grabbing it,
I
dude. These
think-
phones are $1,000 fucking.
No. You got it.
Insurance.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Your insurance ain't covering toilet
This is the
water.
difference between me
Oh
and
boy,
you.
it is.
You
It
just
covers
say-
anything.
No,
it's
you
insurance.
just say stolen.
Yeah,
It's
you say,
gone.
it got stolen by the toilet monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
And
So,
then turn
I
off
just-
the location services.
Old Aguirre said if there's no bidet, he's not using it.
That's fair.
That is reasonable.
Do you guys have you ever considered putting in a home bidet? There's like kits you can have.
You know, I told you. I posted
Okay,
this on
actually,
Facebook
have
a
you
while
ever
back.
used a bidet?
It's a vegetable sprayer, right? Is
Really?
that the home?
Yeah.
The vegetable sprayer is
It's-
the home one. That's the one I see.
You just
My first
retrofit
time.
a vegetable
yes,
sprayer.
when I was showing a condo
so uncomfortable.
when I was
though,
like in 2006. I was showing a
Oh, it's
condo.
nice as hell.
I've never used
Oh, the
one.
vegetable
and,
sprayer.
and
yes.
I looked at it, I'm like, what? Why do they got a vegetable sprayer there? And turns out they made themselves a homemade bidet.
I will tell you, it actually fundamentally is kind of weird that it's not more common if you just think of.
It
I'm
makes
not,
perfect
like
sense.
this show ain't about that. I don't want people to like two people just jump the fuck off. I don't want people to jump off because we're
What's
having
been
we're having
happening?
poo conversations by any means, but like
butt conversation.
I just think I think it's reasonable that a water squadoosh and then like a dry run that makes sense.
Is there anything else that we clean on this earth without water? It makes perfect sense.
What do we?
Yeah.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Some things.
Yeah.
If you're watching the
Yeah.
repeat of this,
HomewareDFW.com.
Sure.
get the fuck out of here.
Dude, what
Yeah.
a crappy conversation.
Sorry,
Yeah.
the Iran.
The Ron-
We'll do better for you next
Yeah,
time.
the
buddy.
Ron. Actually, the Ron. You need to listen to the first part of this
I know.
for armadillo.1/tour when you're checking out the best home warranty company in all the 50 states or
Yeah.
53 states.
Plus, I don't feel bad. This was a business decision that you made.
Yeah. You knew what we were about.
Yep.
You know what you're getting into.
Jesse, get us out of here. In a second. Too fast.
Man, you got to prep me.
Thanks for watching the show today. Make sure if you're watching this on Facebook, you head over to our group, the only real estate group we're being a part of, so you can watch the extended conversation. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you listen on the Apple Podcast, leave us a review. We'd really like it. So just do it. Do it. Do that over there. Go to this one. Then go to that one. Thanks.